We hope you enjoyed a dry morning because as you can see on our first alert Doppler, this atmospheric river is roaring back. Tonight, the entire Bay Area is under a flood watch. The rain is just starting to pick up in some spots, but we're already seeing the damage. So we take you to the North Bay. It's felt the brunt of the storm so far. In Santa Rosa, a tree fell into a building this morning at Steel Lane Elementary School. The Santa Rosa Fire Department sharing this video with us. They say it happened around 11:30. The good news, no one was hurt. Crews shut down the road outside the school to clear all the debris. And with this windy weather, fire officials say they expect more trees to fall. So elsewhere in Sonoma County, our photojournalist Alex Montano found this Caltrans truck trying to clear water from where Highway 121 hits Highway 12. This spot floods pretty regularly when it rains. And here is a live look now we're going to show you. All right, here is Alex. He's driving around for us. He's at a stop right now. He's in Pleasant Hill. Looks like so far so good. No raindrops on the windshield, but that's going to change. Buckle up. Thanks so much, Alex. There he goes. He's taking off right now. Let's get to Paul Hagan, who's tracking this latest storm as it sweeps across the region. A little bit dry right now in Pleasant Hill. Yeah, Pleasant Hill still waiting on the rain to arrive. Basically, it's just approaching the Golden Gate as we speak. This is the radar loop over the past few hours, and you can see the light to moderate rain making its way into much of the North Bay, but not crossing the Golden Gate just yet. We are going to see this surging across the rest of the Bay Area as we head through the rest of tonight. But let's add up how much rain has fallen through the duration of the system so far. The amounts highly variable, which is what you expect when I-80 has essentially been the dividing line between, well, a decent amount of rain, a lot of rain in the North Bay, over 5 inches for Kentfield, 3.5 inches in the Santa Cruz Mountains around Ben Lomond, and approaching that number in Santa Rosa. But the numbers are more modest as you go farther and farther to the south, with the exception of the Santa Cruz Mountains. Over an inch of rain for San Francisco, just short of 3/4 of an inch of rain for Dublin, at less than 1/10 of an inch of rain to this point officially in San Jose. That will change over the next 24 hours. Let's take a look at Futurecast. We'll return to the floor map here, and this takes us through 8 o'clock tomorrow morning as the rain becomes much more widespread, and pockets of heavier rain indicated by the yellow on the map are going to be passing through. Not camping out in any particular spot for a long period of time, so our flooding potential tonight is going to be limited, but this rain is going to continue to fall. In fact, get even heavier as we head from late morning into the afternoon tomorrow, and that's when our potential for flooding is going to be at its highest. The Weather Prediction Center has outlined the entire Bay Area in yellow. That's level 2 out of 4 on their excessive rainfall outlook, means an elevated threat of at least localized flooding. And along the coast, we have a wind advisory that's in effect. Gusts up to 55 miles an hour are going to be possible there, and the winds are going to be certainly noticeable across the rest of the Bay Area as well, even if you're not included in the wind advisory. Not a bad idea to make sure all of your devices are charged up just in case the power does go out. We're going to take a longer look at Futurecast and time out the entire system as it makes its way through. Coming up in just a few minutes. Jules? All right, Paul, thank you. Okay, let's talk about the Santa Cruz Mountains. Expected to get soaked in this storm. As Paul was saying, it's often a trouble spot for flooding and also down trees. Our Len Ramirez is live in Scotts Valley right now. People in the mountains seem to kind of have that playbook for getting ready for all of this. Hi, Len.
Hi, Juliet. They've been through this many, many times before. You know, the storm is a little slower to arrive down here in Santa Cruz County, and that's a good thing, giving the folks around here a lot more time to prepare.
Here we have Love Creek right up the road, and that's where the tragedies of the 1982 storms happened.
Lynn Robinson has helped her neighbors weather many a storm in her decades leading Valley Churches United in Ben Lomond. And she knows this community, which tends to get inches more rain than its neighbors, may be in for even more emergencies soon.
When you look at the weather reports, they usually show either Ben Lomond or Boulder Creek as the high mark of how many inches of rain. And here we are in Ben Lomond. So we know we're going to get slammed pretty hard in the next 24 hours. It's our storage shed for a lot of disaster items.
Our nonprofit stocks emergency supplies, food, and sandbags for the community. But right now they're running low on sand to put in the bags. She said the county promised to deliver a truckload in the next day or two.
I'm hoping we get sand soon. I can't promise when, though. It's really depending on what the county can do in terms of getting up here and providing some sand.
Travel is one of the first things affected when the storms hit. Mudslides and vehicle crashes usually rise with the rain totals. And even though it was just a mild rain on Monday morning, accidents backed up Highway 17 for miles.
Roads get closed, the trees fall, the power goes out. You know, all those things if you've lived here a while, you've kind of come to deal with.
Glenn Timber has lived in Ben Lomond for 17 years. He was walking his dogs because with the rains coming, they could be cooped up for the next day or so.
We're really lucky to have a great community here. If a tree falls across the road, it's not uncommon to have just the local people come and take it out and clear the road for everybody else. Power-wise, we lose it a lot. Most of us have generators up here, and if not, you've learned how to deal with it.
It is a resilient community, with neighbors helping neighbors.
When you're up in the mountains like this, you can't always know that first responders can be there immediately because they've got to try to cover everything. So this is a community that really prepares itself for disasters, I have to tell you.
And they are preparing. They are going to get a lot of inches of rain up here, but they're not really that concerned, Juliet, about the rain. It's the wind, because if trees start falling down, it'll block roads, it'll bring down power lines, and folks could be stranded up here in their mountain homes in some of these very remote areas for, a day or so. So that's something that they have to be concerned about.
Absolutely. Here's the warning, and we'll see what happens. All right, Len, thank you so much for that live report. And you can always get the very latest First Alert weather coverage on KPIX.com, the free CBS News app, and Pluto TV.